Poland scrambled its air defenses, deploying both Polish and NATO assets to shoot down drones after a Russian air attack on western Ukraine. This marked the first time in the ongoing Ukraine war that Poland engaged its air defense systems within its own airspace. Poland's military confirmed that multiple drone-type objects had violated its airspace during the attack across the border in Ukraine, prompting a rapid military response.
Tonight, a large number of Russian drones violated Polish airspace. These drones, which posed a direct threat, were shot down. We are most likely dealing with a large-scale provocation, but at the same time, we are in consultation with our allies. I am in constant contact with the NATO Secretary General. This is so that we can respond to this type of threat as effectively as we did tonight. This is the first time Russian drones have been shot down over the territory of a NATO country. Therefore, all our allies are taking the situation very seriously. We have not recorded any casualties.
Poland's military operation is ongoing, with forces actively working to identify and neutralize the drones. The Polish armed forces urged residents to stay indoors, warning that the regions of Podlaskie, Mazowieckie and Lublin were most at risk. Poland's operational command is closely monitoring the situation, and military personnel remain on full alert for immediate action if necessary. Defense Minister Wladyslaw Kosiniak-Kamysz confirmed that Polish aircraft had used weapons to target these hostile objects. The President of Poland has decided to call a meeting of the National Security Council within 48 hours.
The news that we will have full information about what happened in Poland within 48 hours led me to the decision to convene the National Security Council within 48 hours. We must now have full information to be able to respond appropriately to the situation. Throughout this entire process, ladies and gentlemen, I have also remained in regular contact with the presidents of our allied countries, as well as NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. This is an unprecedented moment in the history of the North Atlantic Alliance, but also in the history of this new Poland. This drone attack is truly exceptional. Ladies and gentlemen, we must draw full consequences from what happened.
Poland's readiness for air defense comes after a series of alarming incidents. The airspace violations come just months after Poland was put on high alert, when a stray Ukrainian missile struck a village in southern Poland in 2022, killing 2 people. This time, the violations were attributed to Russian drones, raising the stakes in NATO's ongoing security concerns. The Polish government also closed several airports, including Warsaw's Chopin airport, though the closure wasn't officially confirmed by Polish authorities. The situation has drawn sharp reactions from the international community.
Mr. Speaker, last night Russia launched drones into Poland in an unprecedented attack. I've been in touch with the Polish Prime Minister this morning to make clear our support for Poland and will stand firm in our support for Ukraine. With our partners and through our leadership of the coalition of willing, we will continue to ramp up the pressure on Putin until there's a just and lasting peace.
But we have all seen what Russia means by diplomacy. Putin refuses to meet President Zelensky. Last week, Russia launched the largest number of drones and ballistic missiles in a single attack. Yesterday, there was a missile attack on a village in Donetsk, targeting people waiting to pick up their pensions. More than 20 were killed. And just today, we have seen a reckless and unprecedented violation of Poland and Europe's airspace by more than 10 Russian Shahid drones. Europe stands in full solidarity with Poland.
No one is safe here. No one is safe in the region, no one is safe in Europe and within the alliance. Because those incidents are very close to the situations when everything is going to escalate and where everyone will be involved into something that we want to avoid. And the key to avoid that and the key to prevent this from happening is protection and pressure on Russia. This is how we see the situation. Till we don't have the confirmation that there was intentional attacks. If there was intent to do the harm to allied nation, allied territory, then we have to go to the plans and to the books that we've written for the case of crisis and war. When we are dealing with military force, when we are dealing with destruction and with aggressor on the other side, the probability of incidents is increasing, and the probability of miscalculation, probability of mistakes, and the behavior that can be misinterpreted also increases. And to avoid that, we need the proper systems that would allow us this from happening. And we see with the repeated activities of Russian drones on Allied territory that Russia is not interested in preventing anything from happening on NATO territory. On the contrary, they are just ignoring this. And it means that the Russia is allowing itself to take more risk on itself to get in touch with NATO. This is how it increases. And then it needs not only the very wise approach and diplomacy to avoid this. We are not talking about it. We are talking about minutes and hours when everything goes into the escalation spiral. And it is of everyone's interest to avoid this. Russia's also.
Meanwhile, Russia says it did not plan to attack targets in Poland. But NATO's response has been swift. Poland has remained in constant contact with NATO command throughout the crisis, underscoring the alliance's commitment to protecting its member states. Poland's military assets were deployed immediately, and while the situation remains tense, NATO's readiness to defend its allies has never been more apparent. The solidarity of the alliance, particularly in light of these direct violations, signals a clear message to Russia. Any attack on a NATO member will be met with force.
Last night, numerous drones from Russia violated Polish airspace. Our air defenses were activated and successfully ensured the defense of NATO territory, as they are designed to do. The North Atlantic Council met this morning and discussed the situation in light of Poland's request for consultations under Article 4 of the Washington Treaty. Allies expressed solidarity with Poland and denounced Russia's reckless behavior. A full assessment of the incident is ongoing. What is clear is that the violation last night is not an isolated incident. The Supreme Allied Commander will continue to actively manage our deterrence and defense posture along the entire eastern flank. Allies are resolved to defend every inch of Allied territory. We will closely monitor the situation along our eastern flank, our air defenses continually at the ready.
The incidents in Poland come amidst growing security concerns in the region, particularly with the ongoing Russian-Belarusian military exercises known as Zapad, scheduled to take place in Belarus. These exercises have heightened anxieties in neighboring NATO countries, including Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland, who are bracing for possible escalations. Lithuania has already pledged to bolster its defenses along its border with Belarus, as the region remains on edge, anticipating further provocations. The question now is how far Russia is willing to push its aggression, and how NATO will respond to safeguard its members.